Welcome to the Revenue Marketing Report powered by Caliber Mind. I'm your host, Camela Thompson, and today I am joined by Jenn Steele. Jenn, welcome back to day 2. We're going to talk about building an aligned business, and I'm really interested to hear your perspective as somebody who's been in multiple seats.
It's hard. It's hard because, and this is something you said yesterday, people are humans, and humans are difficult.
Yeah, we have personalities and communication styles and
Yes.
baggage.
Yes. Now, some of it depends on how you think. I am a big picture, top down, very abstract strategic thinker. So the way that I prefer to do it is say, where the heck are we going? I've been known to walk into a company and say, how do we get to $100 million? And they're just like, Jen, we're trying to get to 10 yet. I'm like, okay, fine, 30, but it's, okay, we just closed a round. What do we need before we get to the next one? Or, where are we going? Do we have an exit event? We're private equity backed. Great. What are the EBITDA requirements? How far are we into that 5-year time frame? So I don't care if you're sales, marketing, I don't care who you are in the company. If you're not actually asking that question, then you've got limited career potential, because otherwise somebody's going to turn around and be like, sales, I need more sales. I need more revenue. No kidding. You need more revenue. Everybody needs more revenue at all times, but you need to drive towards a specific goal, because more is not a goal.
So I'm hearing hiring is kind of important.
Hiring is very important, but also just like, hey, are we all running in the same direction?
Right.
Yeah, we're going to back off and then we're going to start fragmenting, but at least let's agree as a board and an executive team, what are we trying to do? For my own company, I have a line that's 2 years from funding. We are going to have to decide, and sometimes this decision may be made for us depending if we take on venture funding, but do we manage to EBITDA and therefore an exit in 3 to 5 years? Or do we manage to growth and therefore we are committing to venture scale? And so I've got my eye on that 2 years. We'll put it on my calendar. I'll put it on my executive team's calendars. We'll have meetings about it. But that's the eye. And then the beyond that, before that is what's our next funding round? What numbers do we need before our next funding round? And that's stuff that I have in my current fundraising deck of where I'm trying to go to. If you're not all trying to at least go the same direction, there's no way you're going to row the boat at the same time and the same way.
Yep.
And then back off. Okay, what do we need to get? Okay, what do we need to get to 100 customers or $100,000 in MRR or $100 million in MRR? Because what do you need to get there? And then back down one step. And at some point, then you're going to splinter off. Okay. So then marketing takes this part of the funnel, sales takes this part of the funnel, but we're going to overlay X and Y because we're going to plan to get there with enterprise customers. And therefore we need enterprise owned events, or, you will eventually get down into tactics. But I worked at companies that I haven't known what we're trying to do other than make the next quarter's quota. And that's hard.
Yeah. Aligning on a top level goal and then knowing how to align your team's metrics with that goal is so important.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk a little bit about the human element here.
Damn it. I thought we could say in numbers. Okay.
I know. Numbers to me are kind of easy. You pick the top line and everybody tries to align with it. Everything's great.
The spreadsheet formulas. It's amazing.
Yeah. Integrated data solution. Boom.
Absolutely.
Warehouse. Yes. But what happens a lot of times during discussing how to get there, not everybody sees eye to eye, and the conversations can be really difficult. I have always valued a sales leader who is willing to stick through the difficult conversations with me. We talk it out, and we may not be happy, but we'll get there. And we know we both have really good intent. Start with positive intent.
Yes. Start with positive intent, except that I've also had that phrase heard it used against women. assume positive intent. Well, they're not doing it about me, but whatever. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. There's
so,
that.
but I am actually gonna go to like Adam J from Revenue Reimagined really inspires me with that. He's got I'm sure you've talked to him. He's got the sign that says "Tell me more" in the back
Yes.
of him. And so I'm a question answerer. I'm a very like go-getter type of person, and I'm gonna tell you and I'm gonna explain and I'm gonna send back answers or whatever. And granted, I have gained some maturity and I no longer call people stupid to their faces, but that doesn't mean that I'm the best conversationalist whenever we're trying to solve a problem together. And so I'm trying to learn, and this is because Adam is also a go-getter. He's like there's no lack of type A in that man. And yet he steps back and says, "Tell me more." And that is where you can understand people as humans because it's like, "Oh, that clearly bothers you. Can you tell me more about that?" And maybe they've just had a bad day. Maybe there's something, especially if you're newer in the company, maybe it's something it's like, "Oh, no, 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 no. Our CEO just can't stand for that. Like, we know that it works, but she just can't deal."
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I never would have known that if I hadn't taken that step back to say, "Tell me more."
Hmm.
And um, I have a kind of stupidly high amount of empathy. I have, in fact, asked my therapist how to turn it off. But especially if you find empathy challenging, or if you're like me and when you get into exciting conversations, it goes away. Um, Tell me more. Like remembering, like, this isn't just a debate that you're trying to win. This is a person that you're trying to understand because the better you understand why they're saying stupid things, the easier it is to get around the stupid things.
Yeah. Yeah. And it also helps you learn how much of this is baggage they're carrying with them,
Hmm.
and how much of that can we make it through, and how much of that is just ingrained and stuck.
Yeah.
Because I've met some leaders who think the other department's stupid and always will be, and other
Hmm.
leaders who had a really bad experience, so something will rile them up. But if you talk to them about it, you can get through it. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And
hard.
sometimes it's tough when like I've started at places where the whole sales team has been like marketing stupid and Jen fix marketing because it's stupid. And I'm like, let me assess whether I think it's stupid
Hmm.
or I think this person's stupid. Like let me assess, but I promise definitely will keep this in mind. And sometimes I've turned back and I've said, "Yep, you're right, this person's stupid, but they gave notice yesterday, so we're good." Or there are other times I'm like, "Oh, yeah, they got set up to fail a bunch. Let's see if we can redeem that."
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, sometimes you have to have an objective third party come in to validate or
Hmm.
challenge.
Yeah. And especially if there's been no marketing leader for a long time, you're going to have a lot of unfortunate opinions, most likely, because that poor team has probably been like yanked every direction you can possibly imagine.
Yeah. And if they spent a lot of that on, oh, I don't know, product how-tos and sales
Hmm.
enablement material, you're going to have a long road to build that lead gen that you're craving.
Yep. Yep. Or blog bounce rate.
Yeah.
That was one. I was like, wait, what?
Well, yeah. Hiring, empathy, but not too much. And aligning on the numbers. It's good
Yeah.
advice. But it is
Aligning
what it
on
is
the numbers,
sometimes.
on the goals. But also like sales likes pretty things too. Like you can align and be like, "Oh, but what about this dinner?" Like they like doing fun things. Like, "Oh, but and I'll choose the wine as you know, wine is my hobby." And so sometimes I'll just be like, "Hey," and I'll send a sales leader like, "I'm looking at these three bottles. What do you think?" And they'll be like, "Oh, that's better than we've ever paid for before." Because honestly, in the grand scheme of a marketing dinner, like an extra 1,000 on wine isn't that much when you're throwing $100,000 event. So sometimes it can make sales feel good to be like, "Oh, they're involving me." Just don't forget that it's always this balance of the numbers and the fun.
Yes. Yeah. As a hardcore introvert, I've learned you have to get on the plane and go meet with the people. It's just really important. Network is everything, and breaking bread, there's no
Hmm.
replacement.
Nope. Nope. It was one of the first things I learned in business school, and it has been one of the most valuable things I learned in business school. Eating together. Nothing beats it.
No, it really doesn't. Jenn, thank you so much. I can't wait until tomorrow. We're going to talk about what to do when sales and marketing's already at war.
Run and hide, run and hide.
Listeners, thank you so much for tuning in to the Revenue Marketing Report. Please tell 2 friends, subscribe, download, whatever you can helps. And for those of you looking for more great content like this, check out calibermind.com.